The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised. And good afternoon to everybody again. Welcome back. A little technical difficulty, but we'll be monitoring the chat. So if you lose audio, please let us know. We're good? Okay, thank goodness. We win. Yay. Okay.
Yay.
All right. So Commissioner Craver, you had to cancel your appearance Monday.
Right.
You were spent 3 hours with the
private
investigator, but this is an attorney. Okay. So I know there's maybe attorney-client privilege there, but with the time you spent in front of this gentleman.
Was it her attorney or the investigator attorney?
The investigator.
Okay. So 3 hours is a long time to be around somebody. So
yes.
When are we going to see some fruit from this investigation?
I have no earthly idea. He told me yesterday that this side is way over here, and what I'm telling him is way over here. Mm-hmm. And he said if I had to make a decision today, I couldn't.
Okay. So when are we going to see no preliminary, no memo, no nothing?
I have no earthly idea. Okay. I mean, he didn't tell me, and maybe our attorney knows, mm-hmm. but I don't.
Okay. And who is he reporting to?
Back to our attorney.
Back to the town.
Mm-hmm.
Town attorney. And who hired the town attorney? When was that? This board? Was it a previous board? How long was that?
No, it was this board, and it was last Monday night when they were hired.
Okay. The investigator was hired last Monday, but I'm talking about the town attorney that he's going to report to.
Oh, our town attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know when he was hired. He's been on for a lot of years, I think.
Okay. So it's not. What I'm trying to get at is, are we going to rule out some partisan or what do you call it? Loyalty, maybe some bias if it wasn't this board that hired him. Maybe. So you're going to get an impartial look is what I'm asking.
Well, I'm hoping so.
Okay.
I mean, I can't speak for him, but he doesn't know me as well as he does the other board members because he's worked for them longer. But I'm hoping and praying that he's going to be fair.
So what is the allegation here? I mean, can we talk about anything you've served on the board. Tell us about how many times you served on the board, what years, and tell us about your background a little bit.
I've started on the board. Excuse my throat. I have a little nodule that I've got to have taken off on my voice box. Okay. So I do sound hoarse. I started back, first elected in 1985.
Okay.
Served to 87. And I went, I went off the board. And the reason I went off the board, Bob Smith, a businessman that was here in town, mm-hmm. wanted to build the Crown Coliseum.
Okay.
And he hired me and also George Brees. And we worked on that. George and I went to Raleigh and met with Governor Hunt to get the sales tax added on. And that's what actually paid for the Crown Coliseum. And once it was paid off, then that sales tax went off.
Okay.
And this is what I'd like to do since we have lost almost $2 million in sales tax revenue. Mm-hmm. That I've talked to the board and to the mayor, and I said, why don't we go to the Board of Commissioners, see if we can get our own, just a small sales tax added on, mm-hmm. until we get at least the safety building paid off. And I'm sure we would have to say that.
So you mentioned you lost about $2 million. Tell us about what's the overall budget for Hope Mills? I mean, what are we talking about?
I think we're looking at $22 million.
$22 million. Okay. So $2 million off of that is a pretty big chunk.
Yes, it is.
And why was that? Why did we lose that?
Well, it was because the county went from per capita mm-hmm. to ad valorem taxes. We're still getting sales tax, but it's ad valorem on our property valuation.
Okay.
Versus at the store when you pay your regular per capita.
Okay. So, the town lost $2 million with the ad valorem switch from the county. what other challenges are in Hope Mills right now facing the budget? Because you guys took a lot of flack over raising my taxes. Okay,
Right.
so I just would like to see what's your clarification on that. Like, what are the challenges we needed to fulfill?
Well, they said that because the Board of Education and the Sheriff's Department said they were not going to pay for SROs in the school and school crossing guards.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to take that upon us.
Okay.
The revenue, and the payment, and of course everything that goes on, all the benefits.
And that would
we're
have
having to
been
pay.
that would have been added to your city police budget. Is that
Right,
correct? Okay.
right.
How did y'all solve the SRO issue when you got abandoned by the sheriff?
Well, we just took them on and started paying them. We had to hire them. I think we have 6 SROs
Really?
and 7 crossing guards or traffic control guards.
Okay.
So the police department is going to come in over budget for this year.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's important to note. So y'all's revenue neutral rate was like 31 cents,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. And I think we kind of drilled into this a little bit the other night, but to adjust for the rev neutral, or I'm sorry, the ad valorem switch, that was about 10 cents.
Well,
You
we
had to add-
ended up adding on 17 cents
Right.
to that 31 cents.
But of that 17, 10 cents of it was about to make up for what was taken away.
That's what we were told.
Okay. Okay.
And
Told by whom? Told by whom?
by our accountant.
Okay.
Okay. So again, we need to remember we are a commission management style of government. So you have a town manager and an apparatus there that they report to you, and you can only hire the town manager though, right?
Right.
Is that
the
the
town
only-
manager and the town attorney. And
Okay.
then all the other employees fall under the town manager. And all this saying that I want to fire the town manager and I'm going to fire the police chief and I'm going to fire this. I don't have that authority to do that. It takes a majority of the board to let go or hire the town manager and also the town attorney. The town manager is the one that fires all the other people.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've called this before, all the hubbub around you, as political retaliation. I mean, do you feel that it's a hit job? It's an October surprise that all this stuff is coming to fruition. I mean, tomorrow begins early voting for the general election. So where do you feel that these complaints have merit, or do you feel that you're just being sacrificed?
I've been sacrificed. From the time I went on that board,
Mm-hmm.
I have been harassed. I have been bullied.
Mm-hmm.
They did not want me to go on that board because I was the only new one that went on that board.
Okay.
They wanted to have the same board that they had before. And the other board member says I'm too old. I shouldn't be on the board. Even the one of the, well, I'm going to say it, was wrong. Parks and Recreation Director called me an old white woman. And that the end of the board where Commissioner Legg and I sit, we're referred to as the geriatric end of the board. And
Okay.
and I've just been harassed by everything. We do not talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Who's we?
You mean
The board.
Okay.
When I first went on, I called one of the commissioners and I said, so when is a good time when our agenda comes out that you and I can talk and I can see what you found out about something? And
Right.
And I said we could do that, 2 at the time. We don't do that. We don't talk to each other. And I said, what do you mean you don't talk to each other? She says, oh no, we just go on what's presented to me and that's the way we vote.
Okay.
And I thought, well, that's not like
So basically, we don't want to have a meeting before the meeting. Is that what we're talking about? But you're not talking about a meeting that we call quorum.
No.
You're talking about just
right. When I was on the board back in the 80s, every Sunday night, one of the board members would call me because he had been out of town all week with his job. He would call and we'd go over the budget. The agenda, one item after another. well, what do you know about it? What do I know about it? And then we would not say how we were going to vote. Sometimes he would go against me. Sometimes I would vote against him. But at least we had the knowledge of what we needed to know to give an honest
Okay. I have two
vote.
questions. First of all, do you or do you not identify as an older white woman?
I guess I am
Okay.
that.
All right. So let's
but
get
I'm
that out of the way
not.
now. We got some
Yep.
chat here. So I want to
Yeah.
say, so we are in fact a older white female.
Right.
Okay. We're going to identify cisgendered female. Okay. Second thing, that what you're describing, meetings before meetings, or what I said. Don't y'all have work sessions?
I was just going to say, is it unethical to be meeting before the meeting and having conversations about what's going to happen?
Why is it a
Yeah.
problem?
Well, we don't want to have a quorum. We can talk one-on-one, and that's not considered a quorum. But if you get three together, that is
That
a
triggers
quorum,
it.
and that is illegal.
Well, that triggers
So
open
you can
meeting
have
law.
Right.
you can have a meeting with one of your cohorts on the commission or a fellow commissioner, and just
Right.
talk about things.
Yeah.
So but you specifically don't talk about how you're going to vote. You just
No,
okay.
Okay.
never say that. It's a way that I know that what I do before every zoning or rezoning, I will go out to that piece of property and I will look at it and I see if there's schools, if there's churches. I'll talk to some of the neighbors. Well, how would this affect you if this is rezoned? And that's how I base my vote on. I do have a matrix, a zoning matrix that lists each one of the zoning, and I look at that and I see what is the worst thing that could go on this property, and before I will vote on something, I'm not just going to, like we had a community in Oak Mills that had 7.5. It was the zoning, which that's a little bit more restrictive.
What does
than
7.5 mean? Is that how you classify different, like residential, commercial? Okay.
Depending on how strict it's going to be.
Sure.
And the higher the number, the more restrictive it is. And the board voted to change that one piece of property to rural residential, right in the middle of three different communities and across from a school. He said he's going to have hot houses to raise vegetables, but that's been a while ago and nothing has happened on that piece of property.
Are you looking in chat, Laura?
I'm looking in chat. Yeah.
Okay. You want to?
Oh, I'll let you know when something comes up that we need to.
All right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned zoning. I believe we had Commissioner Scarola on earlier this week, and we discussed ahead of the meeting, there was some kind of a round table. We call it the square, I think is what they referred it to. Are you present at those meetings?
No.
No?
Sometimes they would have them. Sometimes they would. I went 2 times. They were not having them.
Are they
day.
subject to open meeting laws, those square meetings?
Yes, they should be.
Okay.
I don't know if they are, but I'm sure they are.
So you don't know if they're properly noticed and to the public?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they say they're having it, but they do not send out a public notice that it's going to be held on Thursday morning.
Okay.
And it's usually only Commissioner Scarola that goes.
Well, is it just a staff meeting? I mean, because I don't think a staff meeting, like an ongoing town manager meeting, would need to be noticed, but unless you have all of your electeds there. So maybe, has it been a scheduling issue that you haven't been able to go, or like you said, it's not consistent?
Yeah,
maybe?
It's not consistent, and I asked to be notified when they were actually, because I'd gone, and if it's not there, that wastes my time. And
how many times have you actually shown up and there's not been a meeting?
2.
Okay.
But I
how many times have you
shown?
I was going to say, how many times have you shown up and there has been a meeting?
1.
Okay.
And I wasn't well received, so
What does that mean?
Well, Commissioner Scarola and the town manager act like, what are you doing here? But I've been treated like that now for 2 years.
Is that
then I'm
because
not
they're
part
treating
of it.
you a different way, or are you perceiving that?
No, they're actually treating me like that.
Okay.
I mean, I've had, I haven't had a town email for several months, and I can't send or receive. Made an appointment, went to our IT person, and he couldn't get it started back. And he says, "It looks like to me somebody's tried to block you."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, how can that be on a town
Right.
email?" He said, "I don't know. Still hadn't been able to do it." So now I'm having to receive all my emails and things from the town and everywhere, or all the other places that send me stuff. And a lot comes through your town email and is sent to me on my Gmail account, my personal account.
Isn't that some kind of violate? Don't you have to? The town has to have a record of all emails going in and out.
Absolutely.
So do we need to have you set up a new email so that you can get one?
Yeah.
Or?
And the our IT person said that he would have to give me a totally new, separate email for the town. But it's so close to the election now. Why do it and me not get back on when I am getting the main things from the town on my Gmail, and I am saving all of that. The first on the town, all of that has been erased, and it's gone.
Please don't start hosting your own email server. That didn't work out really well for Hillary Clinton.
Actually, it worked out just fine for her.
It worked out good for her, just not everybody else.
Yeah.
It just wanted copies of everything.
Yeah.
So,
No, I won't.
No homemade email servers, ma'am, if you can avoid that. So, IT problems aside, and I think that's ridiculous that you should go past one phone call to get an email address. I mean, that's
Right.
in this day and age. And I'm pretty sure you use an outsourced IT person.
No, I'm sure we are, but he's been there like for 14 years.
I'm just going to say we might know the same guy. So,
Chris.
Anyway,
Chris.
Okay. So you've had some trouble, perceived, proven. Like you said, you felt unwelcome. And Laura asked you, what have you seen? And you've mentioned a couple of names. With this complaint, is it solely about something you said in a public area, or does it have to do with town management? Like, how deep does this run?
Well, it started out that I said, made a racial comment at the Waffle House. And that's not me. I don't make racial comments. I don't treat people differently.
Okay.
And then it started again that, to tell you the truth, I don't know how I got censored. I knew nothing about it. I walked in and I knew Brian Marley said the other day that I knew about it. Well, that's not true. There was not a closed session held before that. There was a closed session on the agenda, but the mayor removed that. And Brian Marley, Commissioner Marley, added this onto the agenda, where you add and you take off. But he didn't say what it was. He just said, I have something I want to add. He was never asked by the mayor, what is this that you're adding? And I mean, I was blindsided when he started reading that and said, Elyse Craver. I mean, I almost passed out.
So more than one commissioner that was on our podcast has said that they had a meeting with you prior to the open commissioners meeting.
That's not true.
There would be minutes. Even if it's a closed session.
Yeah, we had a closed session, but it's about 3 complaints that came in saying.
Did they reference you? Those complaints?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what we had. But everything in there, if you could read them, it's nothing more than hearsay.
I've had an anonymous source send me those complaints. I read them. And I will say that not one of them said that you said to that person specifically anything racial. It is all hearsay based on another person who said you said and told them you said. So not one of the complaints was Elyse Craver said to me X, Y, and Z. It is this person, we'll call him TR. Let's call him TR. TR said to me that Elyse said this. And then another person said, well, TR said to me that Elyse said this. All of the complaints specifically were, or you were having a conversation with a friend and you didn't stand up when they said something that was racial, which in my personal opinion, that's not your place to say something if they're voicing their opinion.
Right.
Why would you get
Everybody's
involved?
got that one friend, right?
Yeah, I do.
Hello.
Well, I mean,
That's
I
me.
am
I'm
not
that friend.
going to walk up
Yeah.
and interject anything in a conversation that you are having, and especially if you're talking, I'm not going to tell an adult, well, you can't say this. You know, we have all this kind of people here. I'm not going to do that. That's not me. I don't bother people when they're talking. And that's between them, and that's on them.
So, okay, part of this has been based on the complaints that I've read. It seems to me that they all feel like you don't like them and are trying to get them fired. But again, you're saying that you don't have that capability without having a majority on the commissioners.
That's right.
So are you trying to replace specific commissioners? Are you anti a certain commissioner so that you can have a majority on the board?
Well, not only the majority, the whole board, I'd love to see, because this is absolutely, and I have served on lots of boards, 2 state boards appointed by 2 different governors. This is the worst board I have ever in my life served on.
Mm-hmm.
So you referenced earlier the 80s board. How is it different than the board that was in the 80s?
In the 80s, I served with all men, and they would let me do anything I wanted as long as I do it.
Oh, well, yeah, I like that board too.
Oh, girl power all the
Yeah.
way, right?
I mean, we got so much done. We annexed all the way from Hope Mills through to Cumberland Road. We laid water and sewer for those homes out there. And then later on, they'd go and get their property rezoned to commercial, and that's why we have commercial. And that was our plan all along, is to use that strip for commercial.
Mm-hmm.
No commercial within the, in the communities, because I feel like that needs to be for communities, for people. And then I had a friend that owned a lot of property out there where Village Shopping Center is. And she said, "Do you own a shopping center?" I said, "Absolutely. I can't even buy a spool of thread without having to ride to Bordeaux to buy it at Rose's." And she said, "Well, you find a contractor." And so I had a friend that was a contractor in Memphis, Tennessee, Dick Atkins, and I called him and I said, "Will you build us a shopping center here if I can get you the property?"
Sure.
He flew down here. They talked. He built this shopping center. And right before it got open, he had a heart attack in Bordeaux.
Okay.
At Bordeaux Motel or Hotel. And they found him deceased in there.
Oh, no.
But he let me name it.
Yeah.
And I named it the Village Shopping Center.
Very nice.
But we did a lot.
So one thing, in the chat, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but again, you have been the eye of the storm in controversy. And I don't know if you watched any of our episodes, but I have said over and over that the reason that I was interested in this, not just because we should be looking at Hope Mills, but in the optic that I saw, knee jerk, was they had a meeting Monday, they go to closed session, they come out, they modify agenda, another commissioner has prepared remarks to add a censure directly. So basically guilty before
proven innocent.
Right.
And it was obvious. Was it obvious to you when you now look back on it? The room was full. Is the room always full like that?
Never.
So there was some indication somewhere that this was going to happen.
Yeah. When I walked in, well, it took me a while to get in because the room was full. They were lined all the way to the outside doors.
Are these people that traditionally support you that were the room was full?
Do you think
with?
they were
No.
citizens?
No.
Residents?
No.
Okay.
And I doubt there was anyone there that supported me.
Okay.
Or when I got censored, they wouldn't have clapped. All of them clapped. And
about what it was like in the 80s. Tell me about Steve Johnston. Did you serve with Steve Johnston?
no.
Okay.
Steve
So he was not
Johnson,
an elected official.
Yes, he was, but
He
he
was.
didn't stay on there but just a few months
Okay.
before he decided to leave. He blew into town.
Okay.
And stirred up a lot of controversy.
Well, I'm going to quote here. This is an old newspaper document. You can see how yellow that looks.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a screenshot of it, but I'll say that the 80s maybe for you were the good old days, but not good days. Some of them
were not.
So you alleged you had to turn them into the Board of Elections. Quote, has in public eating places told others I was, and I quote, a lying.
Yeah.
Has also, according to reports, gone house to house. That takes some effort.
Yeah.
Before the election, telling people how I have broken the town's treasury and you should be kicked out of office. Okay. And the last one that I think I can read, that he has distributed vulgar cartoons about me, which have been turned over to the Board of Elections and will turn in, and then the article ends. But there is a picture of you there. You
look differently.
You look a little different, but that's what it's got to be 40 years from at least.
Long time ago.
Anyway, so I think the reason I'm bringing any of that up is
That's like a troublemaker.
Absolutely, completely, 110%, Mrs. Craver. Yes.
You sound like you're the center of
a little bit of controversy.
Well, it's because I will not go along with what everybody else goes along with. I do my own. I look at everything. I listen to our citizens, and I vote according to what I think our citizens want.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened back then? Steve Johnson, they did not want for us to annex to Cumberland. They didn't want to bring any of that into town. Wanted to
annex to Cumberland Road?
Cumberland Road.
Okay.
Because they wanted to keep the town small.
Sure.
And they knew that we would be opening up commercials, and I meant commercial properties. And Steve, for some reason, just took a disliking to me. But you've got to remember, the board back then used to be all men.
Right.
And Patty Ray, the three women that live in my neighborhood, we ran her. She won. She was the first woman. June Ritchie was the first woman to serve. She served for one term. Patty Ray, we ran her next. She went on. And basically the same thing with them as with me. Some of the men didn't want women on the board.
Are we going to just call it what it is? I mean, you were discriminated against for being a woman, or?
Well, we don't know that.
I mean,
allegedly.
is that what we're talking about?
I guess they don't like our logic.
We're talking about things that we don't know firsthand. So allegedly, that's the way you felt.
I got the newspaper article.
Okay, well,
that's pretty heinous. I mean, even by my standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm really not a troublemaker. I mean, I don't. I'm a quiet woman.
Okay, so if you're a quiet woman and you're not a troublemaker, then where's the hubbub? Where's the controversy then? Why do we piss people off? Why are people pissed at you?
Because I will not go along with them. I mean, I am not going to vote with the majority just because they want it when I think it is wrong.
Okay.
And yes, I guess I do have different ideas from other people.
Okay. So, one thing that I've heard from people running for commissioner right now, and I don't know where you stand on this, but it kind of concerns me, is when I hear that we want to keep Hope Mills small. We want to keep that small town feeling. And that kind of, I understand having a vibrant like downtown area or downtown, that area there. I understand that. And there's nostalgia there, and there's people that have grown up there their whole lives. They deserve to hold on to that feeling. But the fact is, the mold's been broken. The die is cast. People want to live there.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's a good strategy for anybody running for office or in the seat to say we want to slow down growth?
I think so. And not growth now, like out on I-95 or out around the town. I think that's a wonderful place to have all the growth, the business growth.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, until we can get our traffic under control,
Mm-hmm.
until we can get our streets
Mm-hmm.
without potholes in them and there, and other services.
Well, let's talk about those two things. So, whose responsibility is the streets? Does the town own a bunch of streets, or is it DOT?
No, DOT owns like the main arteries, the Main Street, Rockfish Road, Legion Road.
Mm-hmm.
The town owns all the other streets,
Like neighborhood streets. Okay.
Yes.
Well, how far behind are you on the potholes?
We will never catch up.
Now, did y'all hold on to money for the? Because they were trying to about 6 months ago. There was a state program that the legislature was going to cut that was returning money to the municipalities.
Wasn't that COVID money or something like that they had to spend?
No, it was every small municipality gets like 10 million or 8 million. They get a certain amount to do that. Do we not have any?
Are you talking about our power bill funds?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, that is the tax that we pay when we go to the pump and fill up our car. And that is our portion of that tax is sent back to us. And that's usually, I think, around $1 million or so, maybe a little bit less than that each year that we get back.
Okay.
But when you look at it and they say it's $2 million a street to redo, it doesn't take long.
Well, you just went through a budget. Did y'all put a couple pennies aside for some potholes?
No,
nothing more. Now, is there an ongoing like funding for that? And you can only get to so many per year, or is it something?
Do you have a schedule, or because I know Fayetteville has a schedule, and we're like years behind.
Yes, we do have a schedule, and I don't know how that is determined.
Okay.
What streets? I know there's several neighborhoods that don't ever get any repairs. But I really don't know that because sometimes a lot of things is kept from me, and I'm not told what's going on. And when I find it out, I have to find it out.
So they're kept. So quote, they're kept from me. So are they kept from you, or
are you not reaching out to find out the information?
Reaching out, or when you reach out, are you being told, or just no response?
No, I will send the town manager an email and ask a question. And instead of giving me the answer, I get a lecture. I mean, a page like, well, you shouldn't be doing this, or we don't need to do this. And all I want is a simple answer and let me decide. He told me one time that, no, he didn't work for me. He worked for the other four on the
So the town manager answers to you. So when you ask him questions, he should be answering to you.
Right.
And if he doesn't answer you, do you feel like you should be going maybe what they call behind his back to try and get the information that he won't give to you? Do you do that?
Who do I go to?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. There isn't anybody to go behind their
As
back.
a commissioner seated, are you not allowed? Are you not supposed to ethically go to the staff directly?
No.
Are you bound to go straight to the manager?
We can go to the our Ashley, who is our clerk, and he doesn't want you to go, or any of us to go.
Who is he to determine who you talk to? You still pay taxes in Hope Mills, don't you?
Oh yes, a lot of it now. But no, he says that I go to the department heads. I do not go to the department heads. I went in, he says that I went in one day and the staff told me, or somebody told me, that he was on vacation. So I went into the planning department and spoke with our director in there and told her that I'd had some complaints about people living in commercially zoned property, which they aren't supposed to do. And so she was going to have the code enforcement officer go out there and check on it. And he said, I wasn't on vacation. I was just had my door closed. Now, how am I supposed to know that he's in there when I'm told he's on vacation?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I'm just a regular citizen inside the city of Hope Mills. And I have a concern or a question. Who do I go to speak to? Do I have to go to the town manager, or do I go to a department head, or who do I speak to?
He wants you to go to him, to the town manager.
So what happens to me as a taxpayer if I go to a department head?
Nothing.
Okay.
I mean, you may get talked about, but other than that.
Okay, but so you have the right to, as a paying citizen, go to whomever you feel comfortable
Yes.
with, and if you don't feel comfortable going to one person, you can go to
Yes.
another. I would think that would be not too much to ask for, because
Yeah.
that was part of the complaints, is that she, meaning you, continually go to other department heads or
that
whatever,
isn't true.
and that Mayor
Bellflowers, yes.
had actually commented that he had, when this alleged comment had talked to you about the way you speak several times. I thought that when I read that in the complaint, I almost fell out of my chair. Why is the mayor sharing with someone else that he has spoken to you about anything? I think that to me stood out a lot.
That
just,
never.
He was a very
happened.
nice man. I have nothing against, but I just would.
Well,
would
but since then
somebody
we've
to say
learned
that.
you've gotten some things sent to you, so it's another context.
They he has never once said anything to me, but he is not my boss.
Well,
It's
said
not
anything
his
to you
place.
regarding what?
Any of this stuff that they say that, or he says he's counseled.
So
me
tell me
on.
about tell me about Waffle House. Exactly what was going on in Waffle House, and how did this come up? I mean, who were you speaking to? What was the conversation about? Do you even remember?
Oh, I remember it.
Because I asked for people to send me the video, because there's a video these people keep talking about. My box is empty with that. I got a lot of other stuff, but I ain't getting no video.
And I also heard that you told Waffle House to go delete the video.
Yeah, I'm going to explain that.
All right, go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead.
After the 911 ceremony, Miss Farley said, "Have you eaten?" Because she knows I go all day sometimes. And I said, "No, I haven't." She said, "Well, let's go to the Waffle House."
You're referring to your bodyguard here.
And
I was going to say Miss Farley's here.
Miss Farley's here. Okay.
Me up on this. And so we went to the Waffle House like we normally do, because it's open 24 hours a day. A lot of times we'll go there after meetings. We walked in. This gentleman that we both know was sitting there by himself, and we spoke to him. And the very minute we sat down, he says, "I'm not on the chatter, but I read the chatter every day." And I thought,
what's the chatter? Tell us what the chatter is.
The chatter is a Facebook group that's a private group of people that we discuss things, what's going on in the town. This is how about 2,000 people that get information actually on what is going on in the town.
Okay. And do you block people off the chatter? Or
no.
Well, who's in charge of the chatter?
Who's in charge of the chatter? Do you know? And do they block people?
No.
Okay.
They do not block people. And I don't know if I should say her name.
That's fine. That's fine.
Administrator.
Okay.
But I tell you, she does not block anyone. She will help people off if they use profanity or any, say things that's wrong. And it's a very clean Facebook page or group where you can then find out.
This is my concern with you as an elected official. If you're participating in a private group, your speech technically is should be noticed to the public. So are you commenting a lot in there?
I answer questions.
Okay.
When a citizen will come on there and say, "Well, why did this happen?" Sometimes they say it wrong, and I'll say, "No, that's not how it happened."
So you obviously you have your own Facebook page. Do you have an elected official page?
Yes.
And do you think maybe it would be better to direct people to that page? Because isn't it all public record when you, as an elected, comment? I'm asking. I'm not.
I'm a citizen of the town.
Okay, so
I don't reply all the time. In fact, at one time I started putting, "This is me as a commissioner responding. This is me as a private citizen."
Okay.
I mean, I still have a,
believe me. I just told you pay taxes, but see, I don't know if you're. And that's a legal question. We got to get a lawyer in here, I guess. But
can you take your commissioner hat off and have a conversation with somebody as not a commissioner?
Absolutely, I can. But I do answer their questions. And there's a lot of questions about the town. And I'll say, "Well, this is what happened. This is what's going to be done." Then they understand. They have no other way of finding out anything. I guess they are saying we have a town page. Well, a lot of people don't know how to go on we have a lot of senior citizens.
But if they
And,
have the chatter, then they would be able to find the town page too.
Mhm.
Yes.
well, yeah, but they'll say a lot of times they can't find anything. But if you want me to get back to the Waffle House.
Yes.
Let's go back to Waffle House.
We walked in, this gentleman was sitting there. We said hello, and he said that about the chatter. And then he started telling us about his mother had passed away. And I told him, we consoled him, and it is bad. You don't want anybody to lose their mother. I remember when I lost mine, and it was devastating. And he told us, I think Ruth asked him, well, when is her funeral? And he said 1:00 that Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, maybe we can try to get to the funeral. The next thing came up that he was going to come before the board on Monday night for the board to had approved $6,000 for them to hire a consultant to go in to the chapel on Main Street, the old chapel that was donated to the house. Pat Hall got it donated to the town, and I said, but the town, they wanted this consultant to go in to prepare it to be recognized as a landmark.
Right.
And I said, well, first of all, we did not approve $6,000 additional dollars. You have the $5,000 that we give each committee. I said, I've already explained that to the chairman.
Mm-hmm.
She had called me and I'd explained it. And she had told me that the town manager had told her, and she has an email from him that said that he had put it was approved in another account.
Now, can he do that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, you would think if it was for that, there'd be a line item with that, or he would have put it in just one, the regular one that we have for him. And he says, oh no, they've got it in there. And I said, well, is there any way that you can ask the consultant if when they're doing it, that $6,000 could go to also, we have 2 more buildings there, the Professional Eye, where the old town hall was. And we have the Eddie D's building that's on the corner. I said, why can't we get this same person to do all 3 of these buildings, and let's get all 3 of them, designated as landmarks.
Right.
And I said, and then what would be nice if we would put plaques out on the other the homes and the other businesses that's listed on our historic registry.
Okay.
And that would say this house or this property is listed on the National Historical Registry.
Okay.
And I think that'd be nice, and I'd still like to have that. Well, evidently he must have taken it, because I asked him in the meeting. I said, $6,000 to do one building. But when I was on the HBC, I had to drop off when I was elected.
Okay.
I said, all I heard was you wanted to get your commission back so that you could go and get your CLT registration, which is certified local government.
Okay.
And that way it would open them up to be able to apply for grants, and that
to further renovate the stuff if they give us. Okay.
To use it.
So this is all happening at Waffle House. You're explaining this to this gentleman,
right?
And he took it the wrong way.
Yeah, and then that carried over to the board meeting.
Okay.
And I said, the only thing, at the board meeting, I said, it's not about the $6,000. And he said, yes, it is too. And I said, no, what I'm speaking of here now is, what are your priorities? Is your priorities to get your CLG recognition, or is it to get one building, designated as a landmark?
Okay.
And evidently he didn't like that, because the chief said he went and told him that I made racial remarks. And after that was said, in walked his son and another gentleman. Ruth and I finished up. We went and paid. They were sitting there. We turned around and waved and left. I went right to the florist and ordered a plant, a large plant, to be sent to his mother's funeral. I mean, I didn't know there was anything wrong, but maybe with me talking like this, and sometimes my voice would go out. I was sitting on an outside booth. She was sitting on the seat in front of me. There was a blank seat there waiting for his children. He was on that far seat. And it was even hard for me to understand what he was saying. But nothing was spoken about town employees or anything at that moment. Never.
Okay. Yeah. So from that, I guess like your allegation at this point is that gentleman played telephone with somebody else who said that you said something that you say you did not say.
I have no idea how it got out. I really don't.
Okay.
Well, according to all of there's 4 separate people that complained, and each one of them said that this TR person went to them and told them that you said something. All of the complaints referenced this one incident, not one of whom actually heard the comment.
Right.
Okay.
That's an issue I have, and to be censured by hearsay, to me, that's ridiculous. Not only just because it's ridiculous now, but if it happens to somebody else. Well, I heard that he said.
Well, this is so from my opinion, it was a lawfare type of thing. Like, pretty soon the shoe's going to be on the other foot.
That's exactly right.
How is this going to happen to somebody else in a similar situation? I think that's a dangerous precedent for our town management.
May I clarify the tape at
please,
the Waffle House?
Please.
When I read the Trish Jenkins post, I thought, well, it was sent to me by I started formed the homeless committee for Hope Mills. We have a full board and people waiting to get on it. They are doing such good things. And I mean, I actually had to step off and be like the liaison so that we'd have room for another people. We only allowed 7. And I had one of my that sent a screenshot of that, and he said, well, it looks like the devil is after you. And when I read that, I called Ruth. I said, can you believe this? The very next morning when she said, look at the tapes, look at this. She and I went to the Waffle House, and I said, is there any way I can see or hear the tape? And she said, well, there are microphones in the
cameras.
She said, but we can't have them over each table because that's against the law to tap in and hear people.
Right.
And she said, but I can't let you do that because you would have to go through our corporate office in Georgia and they would make a decision. She said, that's exactly what I had to tell the police officer that came to get it this morning. And I thought, well,
excuse me?
Yeah.
A police officer?
Yeah.
What crime was committed?
That's what I was wondering. And how would the police know to go get that? I mean, they might have read it, but why would they? But she told us that I told her. So maybe they've gone through Georgia and they've got a copy of that tape. But didn't the mayor say yesterday or Monday that there was no audio?
That's what they said. And they said they've seen it. So somehow, some way, somebody got it.
What are they going to show? Me sitting there eating breakfast? And
I don't know.
I don't know either.
When do you expect that they're going to have a decision on exactly what this person found?
I have no idea. I'm telling you, they don't tell me anything. And Brian Marley said that I went there and tried to get them to erase the tape. That is not true because they didn't have it. The only thing they had was that I walked in the building. So how would he have known that?
Well, technically, there's no tape to erase. It's all digital now. So,
Yeah.
he was asking for the wrong thing, I guess. But So that was false completely, in your opinion.
Yeah.
That you went back and tried to get Waffle House to delete things.
Yeah, I didn't. I hadn't been back to the Waffle House since.
Well,
And probably will never go back. And I know it's not their fault.
no.
But I think it was a misunderstanding when I said we need to put plaques out on the other buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, why would he think I would say something racial? That is not me.
That all depends on how you answer this next question.
Okay?
Tell me how you take your hash browns.
I don't eat hash browns.
Oh, Jesus. I even made Jim have to take some. I told him we were going to go have American hibachi one morning. And he didn't know what the hell I was talking about. He looked at me like I had two heads.
Yeah.
And I took him to Waffle House and taught him
But
to
I
scatter,
understand.
smother, and cover it. So
Yeah.
see, I was wondering how you take them, because then you could just be a monster if you put chili on them or something.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see? So
But I don't usually eat those. I'll eat grits.
you eat the grits, Southern
I eat the
girl.
grits.
Okay, that's fine. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But
Been in born and raised.
I'm just trying to give a little levity here, because we're
Yeah.
really digging in deep. And I mean,
Well, I will say
go ahead.
that if they do have this recording that they've seen, don't they have to turn it over because it's like evidence?
I would think that they'd have to turn it over to the
The
investigator.
investigator,
Mhm.
at least. But if there's no audio, then what does it show? It says words coming out of your mouth. That doesn't necessarily mean
And
what
if
you're
they
saying.
and if they can read my lips, because my lips don't open up very wide,
Well,
they've all gone down now.
yeah. So back to the treatment. I guess they're alleging you mistreated town management people. Is that what the allegation
what he
is?
said.
Okay. So I mean,
How do I do
how long
that?
has that been going on? Years? Because where's the urgency if it really happened from the employees to speak up?
Yeah,
Why all of a sudden?
this is how often I go to the town hall. I go twice a month to pick up my agenda. I walk in the front door. The receptionist there was the secretary at my church until she retired. So she's and I have known each other forever.
Okay.
And I speak to her. The HR director has her door open, and I'll say, look in there, good morning, how's our baby doing today? She had a baby and
Okay,
it's just
okay.
getting to walk. The next door is our planning department, and she has dogs. She's told me all about her dogs. I'll say, how are your puppies doing today? I walk in the boardroom and I pick up my agenda, and I don't see anybody else unless they're walking in the hallway, and I'll speak, how are y'all doing this morning? I leave.
Okay.
I go to 2 board meetings a month. I will go if there's a special called meeting. I'll go to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
So the perception of you running through the walls or the halls of town hall and just absolutely berating people and just racially profiling them and such that's not true.
I have a dropped foot and I can't even run.
You can't run.
I
Okay.
can hardly walk.
Do you wheel through there on a walker or something? I mean,
Yeah,
you just go through there. Okay.
Well,
All
what's
right.
also funny, reading some of the
I'm
complaints.
side-eyeing them over here too.
One
so.
person is saying how Craver never came to me and asked anything, but then other people are saying she went over their head or whatever. So which is it? Is she asking people or not asking people? You can't have this person is saying you went over their head. This person is saying you never came to. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They contradict themselves, but at the same time, while they're contradicting themselves, they all have very similar verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
They all talk about a hostile work environment,
Yeah.
but none of them work for you.
No.
The only person that works for you is the town manager. So I'm wondering how somebody that doesn't work for you, are you creating a hostile work environment
how am I doing
for
that?
them?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, as a citizen, you can express your displeasure with them and say that we need to replace whoever it is, the
Mm-hmm.
guy that the lawn guy or whatever. You're entitled to that opinion, but that's not.
But I have been in the police department one time, and that was when they took us on a tour of it.
Mm-hmm.
Never been back. I know 3 or 4 of the police officers, but I hardly know the
Mm-hmm.
employees, and that's good for me because, I like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and maybe that sounds like I'm just throwing that out. None of them have ever treated me disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
except the town manager, the Parks and Recreation Director and the Chief of Police.
Mm-hmm. So
that sounds like a personal dispute, not necessarily.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny how all three of them file a complaint, like one this day, that day, this day, and then
they all reference the same event with this
absolutely.
pretty much the same verbiage, and they
Right.
complain about the exact same thing. It sounds, just a layman.
Well-
I'm not a lawyer. Don't play one on TV. But I would say that this sounds choreographed, and like they all got together to do it, and then to be censured
Mm-hmm.
without even having the person that we'll call him again, TR.
Yeah.
TR. We'll call him TR. That person never came to make a complaint. They're complaining about what somebody told them you said.
Yeah.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And as a person who loves the Constitution like there's no tomorrow, this is very upsetting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Upsetting.
Understood. No, it is absolutely, and that's why we're very happy to be speaking to you today. The last thing I want to bring up is there was an allegation of 3 sitting commissioners speaking to town management, and basically, if staying employed means helping those people get reelected, is that loyalty or coercion?
About when the mayor went and told the town manager that he needed to.
That was the allegation. I don't know. So
Yeah.
if you're speaking from like witnessing it, you can tell us.
Yeah, I know I didn't witness.
Okay.
That.
Okay.
And I didn't say that because I didn't witness.
Well, the allegation is that 3 of the commissioners went to town and said, "Hey, if you want us reelected, you want to keep your jobs, you better get us reelected."
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what I heard is the town manager was causing the problems because he was going through with the employees. If I lose my job, all of y'all are going to be losing your jobs.
Oh, okay. So the
And-
coercion didn't come from the board, maybe from their own employer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's in writing and also on tape.
Okay. So what's the what? Look, Miss Craver, why the hell you want to do this again?
I don't.
I mean,
I didn't want to do it the first time.
Can you find a path not only to win your election, but can you find a path to, I don't want to say want to work with the board that seems to be a little hostile towards you? Or, I mean, what is this?
Wait, hold up just a second. If she's doing a good job and she's doing something that she enjoys,
Mhm.
and the people will vote you in or out based on the person that you are and have been for years, why should she alter her life's goals and the things that she enjoys based on some people being mean? Shouldn't the people?
I mean, I'm not saying she has to. I was just putting that out there. Like,
No,
because she's. I mean, she seems like an okay person so far.
I
so
think
like,
she
I'm
seems
wondering.
pretty strong.
I'm wondering, like, why the hell? I mean, because pretty much any elected official that comes on our show, we normally ask them, "What was your why, and what kind of deficiency do you have in your brain that said I want to run for public office?"
Yeah.
So, all
we're all
jokes
deficient
aside,
in that thing.
Yeah,
Because I ran for public
I
office.
ran. The reason I ran, I hadn't planned on doing that, but our senior citizens are just thrown to the side. I think they want all of us to disappear. They had, at one time, they had the old VFW house. The town at that time sold it out from under them. They were put over into the Parks and Recreation building. I think they had 2 rooms. Then they were pushed out of there because Parks and Rec needed those rooms. And they have nowhere to go. And that's what I ran on. They called me and I said, I am running to get a senior citizens building for this town, strictly for our senior citizens, with a therapeutic pool in it. And Kathy Jenkins told me that. Don't build it unless you have that therapeutic pool in it, because that is so good for the seniors.
right?
And this is what I ran on and what I wanted to do and still want to do.
Was more senior activity,
but now it's gone from a senior citizens building to, we're not going to have that. We're going to build a new Parks and Recreation building and give the seniors a couple of rooms, and that we're going to redo the seniors. I'm at the old Parks and Rec building for the seniors, and but we're not going to leave the basketball court in there. We're not putting in a therapeutic pool. And how many seniors want to be in with kids running up and down a basketball court and all in there? You know, when you get older, you've had your children, you've raised your grandchildren most of the time, and you just about had enough of hearing the noises from these children.
Well, if you're
So
anything
do you not have any senior citizens centers in Hope Mills?
Not a one.
Not a one. Okay. Question, Parks and Recs. Have you ever thought of, or has it been discussed about combining Hope Mills Parks and Rec with Cumberland County Parks and Recs?
Well, I've been accused of meeting with a county commissioner doing that. That never happened. I didn't do that. The mayor told me, sitting at Wawa's, that this man and he had breakfast together, and this other guy from the county said, what will it take to get Hope Mills Parks and Recreation back with the Fayetteville and Cumberland County? And I said, what'd you say? He said, well, I didn't really give him an answer. And I said, well, I can see the good and the bad in it. And that's the whole conversation. Now, he has a way of saying one thing and to me and telling somebody else something differently, but that's exactly what was said. He told me that.
Well, God forbid that my elected official speaks to another elected official to maybe do something good for our town. I don't know where
that's not allowed.
I mean, you wouldn't want that at all. Collaboration and getting along.
Haven't we for years been saying that cities need to collaborate so that we can
no, the city needs to just ignore everybody else and spend as much of our money as they can.
Well, I started going to all these things when I first got on the board. And I went to a breakfast at Methodist College, and they had a panel of people from Cumberland County that are very dignified. Well, one of them I worked with and for about 10 years, and a former mayor of the town. And I mean, we went to his weddings with the children, and I said, well, I want to go speak to him after he got through. And one of the commissioners that was there stood up. I hate that effing and his name. Another lady that was sitting at a table beside me that this person did not know, but I knew that she and her husband had been friends with him and his wife since they were in high school together. And she turned around and looked, and I said, just ignore it, just ignore it. And I went on up and talked to him. Then this woman says, I told you not to say anything to him about the Chamber of Commerce. And I said, I just asked him if he was trying to get the chamber to merge with the Fayetteville. And he said, no, not at all. He said, we have been working with Spring Lake because they're having a hard time getting members. And we're trying to help them. That was the whole conversation. Right. Okay. But see, they don't ask me. And when somebody acts like they don't want me around, I'm not going to be around. I mean, I'll just go off and do my own thing.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. When somebody acts like they don't want me around, I can snuggle up to them like, how you doing?
She locks on like an emotional pit
I'm going to make you like me.
I wish I could be more like that, but I'm not.
I'm going to grow on you like a wart.
Woman. That's why I don't have a husband, I guess, after 30 years, nor boyfriend.
Oh, my Lord. So it is, I want to point out, it is 5:18 p.m.
Yep.
For those of you listening, have you called your mother today? You mentioned all the senior citizen stuff, so I want to just mention, those of us still blessed to have our parents. Did you reach out and say hello? I think I owe my mom a
but
call.
I have spoken to 3 senior citizens. They called me this morning, and they'll call me. Are you doing okay? Well, we're here.
Are you doing okay? Let's take a second.
Let's be
Are you
human
doing
for
okay?
a moment.
Yeah, I've lost about 30 pounds in the past couple months.
Is that on the stress diet?
Yeah.
Or on,
No, it's because I'm not eating or sleeping because it's all in my mind, and I'm thinking, what brought this about? Why could they not have been honest with me? Are they trying to punish me twice?
Well, here's the good news. The people of Hope Mills will speak in just a couple of weeks, and they will decide whether they believe or want you to move forward or not. So,
And I'm willing
everybody,
to accept that.
all of them seem like very nice people. I did have a little bit of a conflict with one, but that's okay.
I'm concerned about, and you're just going to have to deal with this, is, you know, say the sitting people make it again, with the exception of, I think, Mayor Pro Tem. I don't want to mispronounce her name.
Kenwana McCrae.
Okay. So with
and
the exception
Jerry
of
Legg.
Miss McCrae and Jerry Legg, you're going to have, what if you all make it back? I mean, are you going to be reluctant to work with these folks going forward?
I may at that time resign. Okay. I'm not going to work with the people that I'm on.
But wait a minute. If the people of Hope Mills speak and they want you to work, then isn't that your obligation if they put you in the position?
Isn't that a mandate?
It is. Yeah. It is. And I know that was wrong for me to say that, but that's the way I feel.
I understand that you feel, but that's not what you're going to do.
No.
Okay. Because that would not be fair to vote for you and then find out that you...
No. But it's tough. I can't do anything because I don't have the votes when I... Okay. Bring up something I don't have the votes.
I think the lesson is that you're willing to offer yourself to serve for another 2 years, or is it
or four,
depending on what you get.
Yeah.
So you're willing to offer yourself to the people of Town of Hope Mills to serve, however, you're not there to get beaten up.
Right.
And you're looking for a professional relationship.
Yeah.
Moving forward so that we can move the Town of Hope Mills forward and not our reputations.
Yeah.
So maybe they can just sit down after the election and figure out how to move forward in a positive way. Can't we all just get along?
I'm willing to get along. Yeah. And I was asked a question, do I really want to just get rid of the town manager? And I said, no. I feel like he would be a great assistant town manager. He's good at planning events. But he does not have the experience nor the government education that we need at this time because we are growing so quickly.
See, that's my kind of commissioner right there, is one that wants to fire the city manager. I love that.
Me too. We need that in Fayetteville.
No, and
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
So Doug Hewitt, if you're watching, good Lord, you're still good with me, but I've said before that sometimes the town has grown. We're at different spots in our careers, and sometimes we need other people to come in and give us that slap in the face, and we need to, get it together.
And sometimes when major mistakes and millions of dollars have been wasted, somebody needs to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
We talked about that ad nauseum last night at
somebody needs to be held accountable.
I don't want to spend another 2 hours and 44 minutes talking about that tonight.
And we do have spending that we don't need to spend. That's why we didn't have to raise taxes. And there were things that I had to vote no, and the only one that voted no. But I don't mind doing that.
I can appreciate that. You know what? I like somebody I'm the person that votes no. I'm the person that usually says, hold on just a second. Yeah. Let's revisit this or figure it out. I'm always the odd man out. I'm the bad guy.
You always are.
I am.
Usually you're in the corner, but you're actually in the corner again.
I am too.
But there's a reason for it because I need more knowledge. I'm not going to make a half-baked decision.
Right.
Give me more. I'm not saying no forever. I'm saying no right now. Give me more information so I can appreciate somebody that says no and not is not a yes.
Oh, they get on me all the time for asking questions, and because I'll ask them on the record out on the board. Every time we have been behind closed session, one of them will say, well, you need to calm it down. You shouldn't say this and you shouldn't do that. And I'm wondering, who are you to tell me what to do? I'm an elected official just like you are. And I don't tell you what you can do and what you can't do. And that's the whole problem.
Absolutely.
I have another thing somebody just said in the comments.
Go ahead.
Have you been asked, are you supposed to have a computer as a commissioner?
Oh, yes.
And where's your computer?
I haven't been given one.
And how long have you been in office?
2 years, almost 2 years now, and I've been asking for my computer. All the other ones have a town-owned given computer.
Okay, from the outside looking in, and I'm neutral. I don't live. I have a house property, but it's out on the other side of 295, or on the other side of 95 in Grace Creek. I will say that based on all of my information that I have received being non-committal again,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like you're not very well liked, and they sound like the bullies in my personal, not necessarily bullies. Bullies is such a strong word, but it does sound like that they have gotten a clique together, and I think we should break up the clique. I wish I was there to vote.
So I will bring attention to the chat again. Commissioner Scarola, she says no one has one.
Okay.
No one has one.
So are they their personal computers, or are they issued by the town of Hope Mills?
They were issued by the town of Hope Mills because Commissioner Jerry Legg, he said, and he even went and asked for me, where is her town computer?
Okay.
Now, if they've all given them away and they brought their computers, no one has told me that. I was told I was supposed to be given one.
Okay.
And I've asked for it several times.
As an elected official, I would be pretty livid that I'm not given the same treatment as another county seated official.
That's exactly. It doesn't sound like everything is equal.
No, it's not. And maybe there is an issue with your town management that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So
I pray that it all comes to light and it all gets figured out.
I do too. I won't know
However
more.
And you could have me snowed, and I really like you, and you could have me snowed, and I could be completely wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah, you have.
Hey, you're the only one that likes me. If that's the case.
Not too many people like me either, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah, we'll hang out together.
So
if you'll hang out with an old white woman.
Oh my Lord, she identifies old white woman. All right. So, look, I do.
Well, I'm brown, so I don't know. You know,
well, I love. That's why I've got all these spots. I get just as brown as I could in the summer.
Yeah, I'm a Rodriguez, so I have.
She's got that Portuguese.
Yeah. Even though I've been told that I'm a white woman.
Yeah, well, you're a white presenting individual.
Oh, is that how
just
it works?
Just like me.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
The Greek German side. This is white presenting. So, Mrs. Craver, thank you for being here this afternoon. We really appreciate it. To our audience, thank you for watching. I think we made it up to about 30 active viewers at one point, so that was pretty nice.
Good.
Oh, there's plenty of comments in there, so you got plenty to be informed about later.
And if you have any more information that you want to share with me, you can share it at Laura on the Loose at myyahoo.com. I'm taking all kinds of information. I actually have been given some investigative stuff, not necessarily in Hope Mills, but in other places. So please, Laura on the Loose at myyahoo.com. As a press person or a journalist, it is completely and totally confidential.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for being here. Laura, as always, thank you for joining me. And
I've enjoyed it.
All right, y'all. Good to see you.